Hey YouTube, hey TikTok, how are we going today? Let's do a bit of clay conditioning so we can sculpt some demiguy's hands. So I got all my parts ready to sculpt. So I'm just conditioning some cos clay, which is not very exciting at all. So I am using a pasta roller to condition it. It just makes it a bit easier on the old hands. So yeah, this is like the last little bit that I need to sculpt for the demiguy's commission, and then I can start constructing the doll. So normally the hands take me a little bit of time to sculpt, but hopefully because I've done it before, I can sort of get it done a bit faster. So yeah, I'm using some, what colour is this? Warm beige cos clay. And I've still got some Kickstarter version left over, so I'm sort of mixing that in just to get rid of it. And yeah, then we can start the sculpting process. So yeah, they're my last two commissions that I've got on at the moment, and then I can start working on some more dolls, which I think I'm going to do more cats, because why not? Thanks for the likes, much appreciated. I've obviously got my lion sculpt that I am half working on as well. My Stella Sea Lion, that's a commission, so I painted all the pieces yesterday. That's ready to be put together. That's a hefty doll, that one. So yeah, hopefully it's strong enough. Thanks for all the likes. So brand new pack. They come individually wrapped. Fun fact, this plastic is really good for doing wrinkling work on. It's a nice consistency. So if you don't know how I do my wrinkles, I basically do a layer of certain plastic that is not thin but not thick, and yeah, just sort of run my tools over it. It creates a sort of wrinkling effect. So got my demiguys. So I've made 2 demiguises so far. This is the third one, but the difference is the customer wanted light up eyes, so I put some LEDs on the back there. So in the dark they light up quite blue, which is pretty cool. You can't see because the light's on here, but yeah, that's a new little thing for me, doing some LED lights. But yeah, that's the head sculpted. I do kind of like a faceplate type thing for this one in particular, but normally I sculpt the whole head. But yeah, for this one I'm doing a faceplate type thing. So that's going to be interesting to put it together. So I'm going to have that battery pack running out the back of the doll, and I'm going to sort of sew in a little pocket with the fur that it can slip in and sit, so the customer can like change out the batteries if they need to. So yeah, thanks for all the likes. It's an interesting little commission. The first one took me ages, but the second one was a lot quicker, and then the third one sort of starts getting quicker the more. Thanks for the follow. So I'm not going to condition too much clay, just enough to do at least one. Thank you. Thanks for the support. So yeah, don't know. I've got 2 streams going. I've got one on YouTube as well. I don't know how well that's going to go. Today, we'll see. So the Cosclay is quite crumbly compared to Sculpey. I don't really like working with Cosclay. It's I don't really like the texture of it. But if I do thin things like hands and stuff, then I'll use it because it's a bit more durable. It's a little bit more durable than different polymer clays. So it's not a bad medium. It's just I don't like sculpting in it. But that's fine. Once you run it through the pasta roller, it's fine though. Alright, so just going to run that through again. And the new Cosclay is a lot easier to work with rather than the Cosclay, the Kickstarter version, which is really awful. Really crumbly, not great. Normally I like working with Sculpey Original, which is a really soft polymer clay. So I don't really need to use the pasta machine, but that's fine. So this is the older one that I sort of am combining with just little bits, not too much. I'm just combining it with the newer stuff, just to sort of get rid of it. Okay. Got one more small box left. Got one more box. No problem. Thanks for all the likes and stuff, stopping by. So I'll just do this one and then I'll start sculpting a hand, I think. Just condition this. Alright. So I really want to get this sculpted so I can go back to doing things that I want to do. Not another demo, guys. It's good that people like them. Such a really big doll. And I can finish my chameleon as well. So it's basically like working with lasagna. I didn't use the pasta roller. I've had it for years and I've never really used it until the Cosclay. I think the old hands are getting a bit tough to work with the harder clays, so the pasta roller really helps to condition it faster. It's a lot faster too. And they're only kind of cheap. Hey, thanks for the likes. So I'm trying to do large sections here, just to sort of get the conditioned clay up, and then I can sort of just work the whole hand, I guess. Just put that there now. So I've got a little bit, got a little pile ready to go here. If anyone have any questions, feel free to ask. Happy to answer. Sometimes I run out of things to talk about. If you're new here, I'm an art doll artist. I basically make a lot of fake taxidermy pieces, mainly tabletop size, sometimes life size. Sometimes I take commissions for things. But yeah, I've been doing like a quest to make all of the big cats, which I've done most of them. I'm in the middle of doing lions, so I'm doing a male and a female lion. I think they're kind of a spicy pair. Is that a regular lasagna roller? Sure is. Just got one off eBay years ago. It was like cheap as. You can get like a Sculpey branded one, but it's the same thing. They're just like on a higher price tag because it's got Sculpey on it. So just a regular one. Nothing fancy. See? Just a regular one. Oh. Secret piece. Nothing fancy. Favorite lasagna type? Definitely not cosplay. Just the stock standard lasagna. If you actually have one doing. Okay, one more pass, I think. One more pass, and then I'll start sculpting some hands. Chicken lasagna is not bad. This pasta roll will never see pasta in its time. That's sad. I'll just do that again because that's all a bit crumbly, this one. I want a nice flat section. It's easier to sort of wrap it around. Zucchini goat cheese. Can't say I had that one. Didn't realise there was like so many lasagna options. I feel like goat cheese is a little too much taste-wise. Alright, so I've got some flattened sections that we're going to work with here. So this is what I want. Not this. Alright. Good to go. That one. Just do this one again. It's a nice big piece, that one. One more. Yeah, okay. I can't really get into goat cheese. It's just too full on, I think. Or blue cheese. I can't do blue cheese. I tried. It's not my vibe. Doesn't pass the check. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a cosplay lasagna sheet and I'm gonna lay it on like so. Break that off. Just start curling it over. I don't understand how people could like blue cheese. It literally tastes like rotting. Maybe I don't have a sophisticated palate. Alright, over the top again. Then pieces. All right, so I'm basically covering the hand with a layer of the Cos clay to begin with, and then I can start building up on all the textures and thickness. So I reckon I should probably actually get some reference images up. Let's see. Demiguy's hand. Do you know how hard it is to find a reference image of a Demiguy's hand? I mean, I've sculpted them before, but yes, we still need a reference image. All right. So let's see how much. Hello, Sadie. How are you? Trying to smash out these Demiguy's hands and feet. I'm doing the Demiguy's feet, so they're for the commissions. I'm trying to sculpt them as much as I can. But yeah, kind of plowing through these commissions now. Have I used any other settings on the roller? I haven't actually. I feel like the clay would get stuck in like the actual pasta making bit. So I haven't, but I can't see why not. I reckon it'll get stuck in it though. I'm good too. YouTube really tanking today. So we'll see how much we can get done. It'd be cool to I need to take some video of the LEDs in the eyes. They look really good at night. I haven't taken a video yet, but I've looked at them to make sure they're working. But they're looking good. Maybe adding mineral oil. Baby oil is better. Put something in my eye. Okay. Just trying to get rid of all these little joints. Make it a bit smoother. So that's why I like to work with like that full piece. It's just easier to avoid all these little joins. It's a bit smoother, a bit neater. It's a little bit less work. All right, so I'm going to add this. This will be like, this is a foot, by the way, so this will be the thumb bit. Hey, thanks for the likes. So it's like the big toe, I guess, which is a really big toe. So I'm just going to cover it to begin with, and then start adding the thickness. The toes are actually quite thick too. I have to get a good list of upcoming dolls, upcoming projects to figure out what everyone's into as well. Maybe I should do like a community pick. Normally I do a poll over on Patreon with like 4 picks to choose from to vote on, I guess. Yeah, and the patrons can vote on what they want me to make next. Is that the colour the clay comes out? Yeah, no, it does. This is a warm beige. colour, so it's really close to the actual Demiguise colour. And I sculpted the head out of Super Sculpey, so it's really, really similar colour. But yeah, this is Super Sculpey. So I didn't use the Cos clay on the hands and on the head because it's actually quite hard to get here, for one. I don't like working with it, for two, and I kind of use the Cos clay and more fragile bits because it's a little bit bendable. So it's supposed to be flexible, you know. Okay. Hey Jessie, how are you? I want this kind of flat a little bit. All right, let's cover the toes. So I'm going to get this piece. I'll leave this piece for the next one because it's quite thick. So I've got another piece here. Oops. So I'm going to cover. So this is why I like to work with the lasagna sheet. It's really easy to cover. There's my blade. It's really easy to cover. I'm just going to trim this. And it's like an even amount. I'm good, Jessie. Just trying to get these Demiguise hands all nice and sculpted. Hands and feet. So we can put it all together. Yeah, it gives it a nice even surface. So there's no like lumps and bumps everywhere. And then I can start building up on what needs to be thicker, thinner, all that sort of stuff. How are you, Jessie, anyway? We just have to be careful of that armature poking out at the front. We don't want that, so that's why just keep an eye on that. Good. I did a couple of experiments yesterday on some different mediums to do the scales on a chameleon. I did it on like some scrap piece. I found some acrylic modeling paste. Don't know where it's come from. Have you ever made a clay? No, I haven't. I've made like cakes and stuff, but no. Yeah, I did some tested. I used Mod Podge for one of them. It's okay, but it's a bit flat. I could possibly mix some with this acrylic medium. The medium's just a bit too thick, so it's a little hard to do the scaling, and it sort of cracks a little bit. So I tested the fabric to see if it cracks or not, and it cracks, so I don't want to do that. The Mod Podge, though, that's pretty solid. Cakes of sweet lasagna. Pretty much. I made a whole bunch of, I don't know if you're familiar with Decadent style, but I did a whole bunch of, like a theme. I did a couple of dragon heads, dragon claws in like a Decadent theme. And I just made a whole lot of sweets for it, which I really enjoyed. Dragon. I like dragons. There's definitely more dragons coming this year for sure. Yeah, I made like cookies. I made cakes, like a rainbow cake. Like different types of lollies in a pastel-y sort of colour. though. So I really, liked doing the little miniature things. I did like a pastel dragon with whipped cream spines, which I actually just did a stop motion for. I'm going to post it tomorrow. I just did a stop motion with it, but yeah, I'll post that tomorrow. But it's cute. So try not to do like too much of a tangent with making like miniature lollies and sweets. But it was fun, all right? I've made a couple of miniature figs. I did a bear that was a fig theme. There's like a fig hunter gatherer thing many years ago, and I made like a little satchel and some figs that you could put in the satchel. So there you go. Weird little sidetrack. I did like a ferret that was like a honey pot ferret, I think it was. And I'd made like a little jar of honey that has like a little artillery belt, I guess. And I had the honey pot that you could put in there, and it had honey all over its face. It's cute. But yeah, I haven't really focused much on doing fantasy type things much anymore, rather than more realistic things. I just feel like there was too many people doing fantasy stuff, and I need to do something a bit different. So, no problem. Thanks for watching. There's definitely more videos coming up. All right, we're on the second last toe here. I'm going to do 2 more tigers. They're on a list as well. One, it will be the golden tiger. I haven't made the golden tiger yet, so that's on the list, the to-do list. And also, I'm going to do like a fantasy type tiger as well, which I'm sort of thinking black with rainbow-ish sort of stripes. I haven't quite set on a design just yet, but yeah. I haven't done a fantasy type tiger before. You like 2 orange tigers? Yeah, thank you. The demo guys looks like a grumpy cat. It does, right? Or E.T. A lot of people think it's E.T. I might get 2 feet out of this. I don't know. Out of this stuff that I've conditioned. I'm trying to keep it neat so I don't have to go back and do as much like neatening, smoothing, all that stuff. Oh, thank you. I have a YouTube where I have heaps of tutorials. But, I've been doing this for a long time, so I've definitely got the practice behind me. My dolls definitely didn't look like this when I first started, I can tell you that. But I've been sculpting my whole life, so since I was a kid. So a long time. I've been making these dolls for about 13 years now. I've done lots of different types of things. It's just practice, really. All right, here's a foot so far. Making some good headway on this. I just wish social media was a bit nicer to me. So, you know, maybe I'll get lucky one day and have a go viral, maybe. Alright, this is our last toe, which is great. Then I can start bulking up some areas. I'm just trying to smooth the seam lines out. This is kind of why I don't like working with Cosclay, because the way I normally sculpt is I like to drag it around to the place that I want it. And with Cosclay, when you drag it, it sort of opens up, which is a bit annoying. But yeah. Oh, it's fine. I'm trying to be quiet because my daughter's asleep. But yeah, I'll definitely look into that. That's all right. Thanks for stopping by. All right. Hey, Glacial, how are you? Okay. All right, we've got the layer on. It's pretty good. Okay, now yeah. Just looking at some reference images. So these feet are quite thick, so I need to thicken some of these feet. What do you call it? Up. Oh, thank you for the heart puff. Much appreciated. All right, I'm going to put another layer on here just to thicken that. It's a bit thin. Ham. Every time I say your name, it's Ham. What's that from? But I don't know if anyone played the game Bust a Move, I think. I think they were called two separate names in different regions, but one of the characters is called Ham. So I can't help but think of Ham. That was one of my favourite games. Maybe I'm showing my age there. But it's a good game. Hey Sean, how are you? Okay. Now I'm going to do a little bit more on that second toe, because we want it a little more round. Okay, so most of this top layer is going to be covered in faux fur, so I'm not going to put too much detailing into that. It's more the underneath. All right. It's really hard to find reference images. It's so frustrating. Okay. Hey, what's better, pipe cleaners or detonators? Pipe cleaners don't offer any strength. I only use it purely to catch the polyfill that I use, so it doesn't. Pipe cleaners aren't great, so it's definitely the joints that you need to actually be able to stand some things up. It needs to be able to hold the weight. So yeah, pipe cleaners don't offer any support whatsoever. They're purely there for their fluffiness. They only have one purpose. Okay. So that joint's a little thicker. But if you want to use wire, get like a thicker wire that will offer the same support as the ball and socket armature. So you could use things like copper. I use aluminium if I need to use wire for the armature. I usually use wire when I do wings because the ball and socket armature just doesn't work. It's too thick for the wings, and then you'll end up seeing the joints. So I use wire sometimes, most of the time. So yes. So I'm just trying to create like some definition in these little parts here, I guess you could call it. So I'm just taking off just bits of clay, laying it on there, and then blending it in. It starts creating some definition. Okay, see, starting to create some textures and stuff. So what I'm going to do now is start mapping out where I want the creases to be, and then I can start joining and creating what this. So sometimes I look at my hands where the creases are and copy that, even though these are feet, but their feet are very similar to hands. So I'm going to do one here, there, and one here. So I'm just using my needle tool to create these little indentations, I guess you could call them. One there, here. And then I'll go in with my other tools and start mapping out the details, extra detailing work. Okay. So we've got a really rough looking detail work there. Now at the moment we need to thicken this bit up a little bit. So if we look at our hand as well, I'm going to thicken this bit up here. With a big ball. And just sort of place it on that mark to begin with. I like to use my fingernail for things. All right, drag that down. See, this is why I don't like Cos clay, because when I drag it down like that, it starts to separate a little bit, and then you sort of have to keep going back over it to smooth it out, which it's one of the reasons why I don't like using Cos clay. Like, it's easy to smooth out, but Sculpey Original doesn't do it as bad. It does do it, but not as bad. So that's another little reason. Some people love using it, but just doesn't do it for me. All right. Now, I want to thicken this little bit up here. So I'm going to get a piece, roll it. So it goes to length. So you want it a bit thicker. You want some support with this. Blend it in. So I think the first hands that I sculpted, it took me hours to do. I don't particularly like sculpting hands or feet in itself, especially really big ones. It's just not my forte. Like, it's fine, unless it's for like a primate or something. Even that's hard. So it took me ages to do, and like, I've kind of worked out a better process of doing it now as well. So I think rolling out the clay so it's all like a uniform size, it's just easier to put on and then start building up. So it's all in the learning process, right? All right, so I'm going to smooth this down a little bit, blend it into the rest of the foot. And then we've got some build-up textured here. Use my silicone tool to get in there if your fingers are getting a bit tired. Okay. Now it's probably, just wondering if I should make it, I think the foot is a little bit long, I reckon. I think it needs to be trimmed off here, to be honest. I think that needs to go. So I'm just going to pull this off here. And when I attach this to the ball and socket armature, so cut it. It's a good thing about having nails. You can just use it as a knife. So I will attach it with some epoxy sculpt to the actual armature. So that'll sort of cover this piece here. All right. Okay, making some good headway here. So I'm going to use my silicone tool to create this little hand wrinkle here, blend it in. And you also like to use the little spoon tool that I've used many times. It's really good for creating wrinkles and stuff. So we look at our hand. Sort of does a curve. I'll do more refining piece details once it's all been put together properly. So just using that tool. All right. So starting to build up that detailing work. Again, I'm not going to worry about this bit here because most of it is covered with faux fur anyway, so you don't need to build that up with detail. I think that's looking pretty good. Now I'm just going to add a thin strip to, maybe not this one. So I'm just trying to flatten out that mark that we did before to create these little marks on the fingertips. So I'm just going over with my silicone tool, just smoothing it out a little bit. You can also like to go in with this little spoon tool as well, just to bring out that crease a bit better. There, and go in and smooth it out a little bit. Like so. This one, bring that up there, bring that up here, just smooth it out again. So those edges are too harsh. Okay, here's my tool. Right. So sort of got that pretty much fine and dandy. I want to smooth all this out, get rid of these imperfections. My silicone tool. Basically just blending everything together and getting rid of those little flicks that haven't blended properly. Okay. Like little fingernail nicks as well. So I think I'm going to bake these as I finish them too, unless I finish like 2 at once, just so they're not sitting around and collect fluff, I guess, and the fluff sort of gets embedded into the clay. We don't want that. Thank you for the follow. Hey Jax, how are you? These are beautiful. Oh, thank you. Much appreciated. I try. So intricate. Yeah, I try not to put too much detail in it, because sometimes less means more, especially when you're sculpting smaller bits. So it's like a happy medium, I think, between too much detail and not enough. So I'm just trying to do the toes here. The toes have like very harsh lines in it, I guess. I mean, the reference images aren't that great, but you know, just making it up. Beans, different type of beans. Demiguise beans. On almost. The thumb I'll have to do a little bit more work on because it's quite thick by the looks of it. So actually be able to do a stop motion with the demiguise, because the other ones that I finished, they've been sent off. They're both in the States now. Not even in the same country anymore. Funnily enough, most of my work is in the States, so oh, thanks. I'll show you how to do a fingernail. So I've got two types of tools that I like to use with fingernails. They're both like kind of spoon tools. I'll show you on this end one here. So I like to use the small one mainly, but hopefully you can see. Okay. So basically, it's really easy to make a nail. You start with a nail bed, and I'm using it curved side down, and I'm just basically pushing the clay back like so. And because it's curved, it's curving this area here and pushing this area up, like that nail bed up. So you can neaten it up a little bit. Sometimes you don't need to. And then with the curve here, you sort of just turn it like that. Like so. Same with the other side. And then again with the curve here, you can sort of press it down like that to create the nail. And that's a little nail. I guess. That's a little nail. Obviously you can neaten it up and whatnot, but that's one option. If you want to do long nails, you basically do the same thing, and then you add like a nail, like you're doing fake nails, I guess. I'm going to restart this TikTok. Give me a second. On your get out of here. Sometimes the lives just shit themselves. It's just practice. But yeah, that's a quick little demo on how to sculpt a nail. But yeah, you just basically, if you want to do a long nail, you just basically create a fake nail and just sort of pop it on there like so. This is a really bad fake nail, but you just pop it in there and then get your tool and blend it into the nail bed, basically. That's a yeah, little tip. I thought about doing workshops, but I'm an introvert. I don't like talking in front of people. these lives are bad enough for the old introverts. TikTok's not working, I don't think. You know, you got to get yourself out there, I guess. But yeah, I thought about doing like little videos and stuff. Like, I've done it before, how to do things. But not as a concentrated type thing. All right. So for this thumb, it needs to be bigger. So what I'm going to do, get this fluff off there. Roll a little ball. Is anyone else hair molting? My hair's molting. Change of seasons. That's good. Thank you. So I'm going to thicken this little thumb joint here. So what I'm going to do is I've rolled out a little piece of clay, and I'm just going to place it where I've marked the little line here, basically. So, and I'm just basically going to blend it to the rest of the thumb. I guess it's a toe, big toe, I guess. These videos make me happy. Oh, thanks. Just doing sculpting, you know. Sometimes sculpting can be relaxing, sometimes frustrating if it's not going the way you want it to go. All right, so this little crease we want, so I'm just going to go in with the thin end of my silicone tool. Just really lightly blend it just to get away that seam. Yeah, so that sort of creates this little line here. And then for this part, we'll do it again, same deal. Did you make the doll in front of the camera? This one, the Jaguar, yes, I did. That's as best as I can show. Yes, I did make that. I've made a lot of big cats. Made a lot of big cats in my time. A lot of everything, really. But like I've got like a little side quest to make all the big cats, which I've mostly done. I'm starting on a lion, so this will be the male lion as well. TikTok, that's the male. Obviously, I haven't sculpted the mane because I'll be using faux fur for that. But yeah, I got the female to sculpt. The female is going to be a bit spicier. But yeah, I made a black jaguar as well to go along with this, but that's in England now. It's in the UK. So, but yeah, this one is still up for grabs. I did all the airbrushing for the coat on this one. So it originally started off as white, and then I airbrushed all the pattern work onto it, which is what I do for most of my dolls. I love how you explain the steps. Thanks. Well, yeah. When I first started, there was nothing. So I'm all self-taught. Yeah, I don't mind explaining steps, processes. I've learnt a lot along the way. So I'm just rolling my silicone tool over over the ends just to get rid of some of this unevenness. And you can also just drag your finger down like that, but I can't get my finger in there without my nail sort of flicking all marks into the clay. All right, so that's sort of the thumb bit. Don't think I'm going to bulk that. I think that's fine like that. Again, not going to worry about that. I might just add a little bit of definition here, like the knuckles. So for the knuckle work, I'll do the knuckles and then I'll do the nails, and that is foot done. I tried the airbrush. Airbrushing's not easy. The thing is, you need a good airbrush and a good compressor. My compressor's not that great. I've got a better one, but yeah. So for the knuckles, what I do, that's too big. Let's get a piece of clay, like so, and then sort of roughly shape it into like a peak. Thanks for the likes. So that peak will sit here and blend it in. And blend it in on all four sides. So I'm sort of dragging that clay down a little bit. And we want that bit of definition there. Obviously, if I was doing like a sculpture without fur on it, I would spend a lot more time refining bits. But yeah, that's basically a little knuckle there. You can flatten it out any way you want. I wish I was not broke. I know, you and me both. All right, so we've got another little knuckle here. Again, stick it on. That's where you need to start sort of blending in both sides of the knuckles. Make sure they're sitting fine. Drag it down, side. I don't know how I ever sculpted without a silicone tool. Okay, there's another knuckle. What am I making? I am doing some feet, hands and feet, I have to do, for, I don't know if you're familiar with what's called Fantastic Beasts, but I'm doing a Demiguise. So this is the head. So this is my third one. It looks so cool. Thank you. It's my third one. So the only difference is the eyes light up with these. So you can't tell because the light's on, but I've got LEDs in the back, blue ones. But they look good when it's dark. So the last two that I did didn't have this feature. So the customer wanted it for their one. So yeah, that'll be an interesting. I haven't actually done an LED one before, but yeah, the battery pack's going to come out the back, and I'm going to make a little pocket on its back so the battery pack could sit in it. You can obviously change the batteries in and out. So yeah, I'm going to do that out of fur. Yeah, I make these. I'll give you an example. I'll get rid of this pasta roller. This is one that I've made. So this is a Jaguar, did everything for it, sculpting, airbrushing. The eyes are glass. They kind of follow my eyes because they're glass. So yeah, I basically make fake taxidermy pieces. I've got a Stellar sea lion commission at the moment. I made a leopard seal not long ago, which that customer bought, and they want a sea lion to go with it. So I've got the 2 commissions on at the moment, so they sort of take priority over everything. Thank you. I'm currently working on a chameleon too. So this is my chameleon. So I've done the head, sculpted everything. The body in the middle of sewing. The little feet are also posable, so I've got a little joint in there that they can open and close. I changed the nails to like a latex so they're not fragile. Hey Jules, how are you? But yeah, I'm in the process of sewing the body, which I'm then going to airbrush to match the head. So yeah, a couple of things going on there. All right, one more knuckle. Oh, 2 more knuckles, sorry. But yeah, I just finished a bunch of medieval cats as well, which was a fun little project. Definitely more to come. There's a crow on the roof that's just going bonkers. Yes, I've got a couple of projects on the go. I like to work with a few things at once because sometimes there's a lot of waiting for things. Get this hair out. Cat hair, no doubt. So yeah, I like to work on a few things at once. I think it's going to the States. With the other 2 that I made. Not the same person, but the other 2 that I made went to the States too. So, I mean, most of my stuff's in the States these days. Not so much in Australia. We ain't got no money here. Alright, so I'm just going to flatten these out just a tad. So the fur is going to go up to basically here, so there's no point doing any of this, worrying about any of that. Yeah, so put this over. Last knuckle. Oh, thank you. No problem. Thanks for stopping by. All right. Okay. Now we'll do the nails. So bring that down a little bit. Okay. All right, now for the nails. The problem with my nails is I keep nicking the clay, which is a bit annoying. That's all right. It's fixable. thank you for the follow. If anyone's into Donnie Darko, I'm doing a Frank the Rabbit action figure. Always wanted to make one. That's going to be my Easter egg. Easter egg. Easter egg. Alright, so for the nails, again, we got my spoon tool. Push that nail bed in. Push the nail bed in. Just going to flatten it out a little bit so it's not so jagged. And up there, roll it to create that side, and then at the front, roll it again. Like so. No problem, Jax. Thanks for stopping by. Alright, so a couple more nails left. Alright, make the nail bed. Smooth it out a little bit. Curve up there. These nails are quite short anyway from the reference image, so I'm just going to shape them out of the clay that's there. Alright, thumb, well, big toe, I guess. Alright, now lastly, what we're going to do is not pierce the back of it again. Smooth it out. So lastly, what we're going to do is create the little wrinkling type thing. So I'm going to get my plastic, and so if you look at your fingers, you've obviously got wrinkles around this bit here. So basically the plastic is just acting as a barrier, so I can create a dent rather than carving it out. And then again, we've got our wrinkling here. So just sort of following my hands. The reference images are quite wrinkled, so, and then just a little bit on here. Just some light marks. All right, wrinkling here, some here. Again. I think this plastic is off a packet of Pokemon cards, which is a perfect plastic to do wrinkling effects like this. It's like just thick enough, not too thin. Anyway, so there's our wrinkling for the thumb. Same deal. So I'm just sort of shaping it as well to where like a knuckle would normally be. In the middle. Ta-da! Alright. That's basically how you sculpt a demiguy's feet. Would. How long did that take? Like an hour-ish. Hour 15. That's one. So I'm just going to smooth this out just a tiny bit. So this is ready to be baked. I'm not going to worry about any of this because this is going to be covered in fur. Just little bits and pieces. But again, leaving it rough. Leaving it rough. All right. So that's basically one. So just scrape that off because it's a bit dirty. So judging by that, hour and 15. It's going to take about 5 hours to sculpt these feet. Just about 5 hours to sculpt the feet. So takes a bit of time, I'm afraid. All right, that's 1 foot. It can be baked now, so I'm going to put it. I'm just going to get my clay. I'm not going to start another one because I don't have time to finish it all. So I'm just going to pack my clay here so it doesn't get dirty. Just sort of clean up a little bit here. This one, leave my tray. Just gonna leave it there for now. So that's one, that's good, right? My Donnie Darko. Know how well it sits. Pretty good, actually. Yeah. Comes with like all these extra parts. It's even got a really thick thigh that you can change it to. So that's not bad. All right, so what I'm going to do with the time that I have left, might pin. I really want to paint this too. I don't have time to paint it, but we'll see. All right. Of course, there was a whitetail spider in that. Now, I need to pin some of these together. going to cut 4 of those. Okay, 4 of these pieces. Be out of the way and not much workspace here. One. 2. So basically I pin all these pieces together on the legs. The tail I might just do while I'm here as well. Is that modelled after someone's pet chameleon? No, just it's modelled off a veiled chameleon, so not anyone in particular. So I haven't really decided on how I want the pattern work to go. I think I'm just going to wing it. See what happens. I think, alright, so I need these to be a bit longer because I'm going to curl. So maybe here. I'm just going to put a little clip in it. Awkward angle. There. And we want it to go about there. Okay. So I'm going to do, I was sort of torn between a 3-horned and the veiled, but you know, I can do both. Okay. So that's that. Probably get rid of that white tail spider that's there. That ceases to exist. Anyway, this is going to be the tail piece. So I'm going to plan to, when I sew this up, I'm just going to have it like permanently coiled over this end, I think. And then the rest I'll leave. Okay. All right. Why is that they get people coming in when I have to jump off? Anyway, so during the week, I'm going to try and do as much sculpting on these feet as I can, get them out of the way, so I can start constructing dolls. I may paint this during the week. I'm not sure just yet. It just depends how much time. I might also do the armature for this one and just like test out just the weight of the head. It's quite heavy. So I need to do a little bit of testing, and you know, it might be the case that I need to bulk this up a little bit with some wire just for that extra support, just because it is so big. I can also possibly start constructing this armature as well. So yeah, a couple of things to do this week. Anyway, YouTube, thank you for joining me. I'll be back next week, probably Thursday-ish. I will have 11 days off though, over Easter, so that's like 11 days. 11 days of fun. Anyway, thank you, YouTube, for joining me. I'll catch you in the next one. And TikTok.